Hello, Yu-Gi-Oh players, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0. Now, if you remember, Diction Challenge this week. If you remember back a couple of weeks ago or months ago, something like that, I did a video about the aftermath of the September 2013 ban list as I see it, and I will be doing a logical format video series in a couple of weeks. So look forward to that. It'll be after Nats. The point being, I did that video on the aftermath of the 2013 ban list, and I thought it was just kind of important because you guys might want to do some market watching, be preparing for fall a little bit early, getting started on some decks that you're going to want to play after the Dragon and Prophecy and Evil Swarm paradigm kind of before they collapse. So let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so since I did that video, I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys, and I've also gotten a little more information on the format, on some cards that are going to be coming out later, just a few things that will make me want to revise some of my statements back then, because it's important if you guys want to get those decks now that are going to be big in the fall, that you guys have kind of an idea of what the format's going to look like. Now, there are a couple things that people mentioned that I would want to talk about. One of them was Infernities, which saw a pretty big influx when Hidden Arsenal 7 was released, but were pretty quickly quelled by the release of Prophecy and Dragon Rulers. So Infernity will definitely be something to look out for. If you want to make that deck, probably now is the time, because Laval Ball Chain is going to see a pretty serious price jump once the fall format hits, especially if Infernities become big again. So I'd suggest making Infernity decks now if you want to try them out. I'm thinking of trying them out. I want to try out that Excesalute build. It looks really cool. Anyway, so Infernities are a thing to look out for. I definitely forgot to mention Harpies in my last video, which will be an important thing, and is one of the reasons why I actually do not think that they are going to hit Dragosac this format. Not the deck, but the card itself. I think that Dragosac is providing or it will provide definitely a big boost to Harpies in the fall, and since Konami is going to be selling Legendary Collection Joey's World, which includes some Harpy support, they're definitely going to want to ride the money off of that. Another piece of information that we have gained since my last video is that Chicken is not being released before the ban list happens, which means that there is absolutely no way in hell that Konami will hit Fire Fist before the ban list comes around. So I definitely think we're going to see a 3-axis boom in the TCG once the ban list comes out and once Chicken comes out, which means you're probably going to want to get your cards for 3-axis very soon, because Chicken is going to raise the prices of them quite a bit. So it's definitely looking like it's going to have a big Tier 1 deck, or Tier 0 deck, or Tier 0.5, whatever, that is 3-axis Fire Fist, which is going to dominate a good portion of the format. Except we're also getting War Gods, which, as another thing that we are learning, is it's getting a ton of excellent support from Shadow Specters. It's getting extra hand traps, it's getting extra stuff you can do from the grave, back row destruction, which is really important for taking on Fire Fist. It's going to include quite a few things that I think will help it in the Fire Fist matchup. So I think that what we're going to see is, come Judgment of the Light, we're going to have a large boost in, of course, Bujin monsters that we see going around Bujin decks, because that's when it's coming out, but definitely a Tier 0.5 kind of format with Fire Fist until Shadow Specters comes out, at which point Bujin will probably be a serious contender against 3-axis. One other thing I want to mention is, I think, personally, there's been a lot of discussion about the possibility of Mermails not getting hit. I think it's really a debate as to whether we think that Konami's going to make enough money off of the Big Eye reprints and the Megalo reprints and stuff in order to make it worth their time to not hit Mermails. Because, as you see, they're actually coming back into the meta now, which means that they can't justify as easily not hitting the cards from it, since I believe that a Tidal Mermail deck got top 8 at a European Nationals, and Tidal Mermail has been making a bit of a splash, so to speak, if you will excuse my pun, at a few other events. So I think I have to carefully think this through. I think that mermails are going to get hit a little, but with Tidal out, I still think they're going to be a major contender come the fall, especially if they hit that big eye reprint in the tins. Then I think that Mermail could potentially make quite a bit of dough for Konami. So they might hit it kind of lightly. They won't really go after the water deck. But I definitely think we're going to be looking out for that deck in the fall. The other thing I have to take into account is the other archetypal stuff that we will be looking at going into Shadow Specters, the vampires, the extra monarch stuff, which so far do not look like they're going to be particularly worrisome. I think that those and ghost tricks and stuff are going to cause a little bit of a splash in the meta, but until we see some cards that are a little more consistent, a little more powerful coming out of Shadow Specters for the monarchs and for the vampires, I don't think that they're going to make that much of a difference come the fall. The other thing that we are going to have to look out for, and once again, I definitely say you should look out for it during national season, but definitely right before Worlds, because they're going to be kind of at their lowest price at that point, is Madolches. Madolches have already proven themselves this format to be extremely fast and very, very powerful, getting those big pluses and the extra power with Tiramisu. Just a lot of good things coming out of the Madolche deck this spring and summer. So that is my reanalysis, my review of what I think the format will look like after the ban list. So thank you for watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, let me know why, and then subscribe for more videos. I gotta jet, guys. See ya.